Hi there, welcome to another episode of Girls with Voices. And today we're going to be talking about a controversial topic that we have out there in society. This is a platform where we call a spade a spade. I'm your host, Melissa Bofo, and with me today is our co-host.
My name is Natasha Msabane and I'm excited to be here.
Hi there, my name is Hazel Kutsa and I'm also excited to be here.
Hi everyone, my name is Patience Tom.
Alright, so ladies, we're here to talk about date rape, one of the most controversial sexual offenses. And should we start by defining what can we call date rape actually?
I think what we should do first is disintegrate the two. What is a date and what is rape? That way we can then mix the two and then approach it all together.
Alright, so ladies, what do you think a date is?
Okay, so a date is a social or romantic engagement between two people. And basically the two people have an agreement on what exactly is going to transpire during this date. And in most cases, it might or might not lead to sexual relationship, considering that it might be the first date or not. So that's basically what a date is.
Alright, and what do you believe rape is?
Rape is a non-consensual act. It is whereby someone has a sexual intercourse with you against your will or without your consent.
All right. So what we're saying here is I went on a date. I had an appointment with someone. And then right in the middle or at the end of that appointment, this person sexually abuses me. Yeah. So it doesn't have to be penetration, but it can be acts. They can touch me. They can do something to my body that I'm not happy about. So that then becomes date rape.
Yeah.
All right. That's interesting.
Very. Okay, so ladies, just as we were talking about date rape, do you feel like on the very first date, a person, a girl in particular, is obligated to return a sexual favor to someone because they've been to a date with them?
Most certainly not, because by me agreeing to go on a date, you have not subscribed to anything, even the relationship itself.
Yeah.
Going to a date doesn't mean you want to have sex with a person. No.
I think what people confuse between a date and a relationship is you've been talking to someone on the phone. You haven't met this person and then you decide, let us meet up. You know them on the phone, not them in the physical. So I think something like this doesn't have to happen because you don't even know this person's HIV status. Do they have an STI or not? Are they even married, or we were just playing umjolo on the phone? It was a joke. It was a joke of a relationship and we've decided to meet. So I think people should be careful about that before they decide to even rape you on a date, because you don't know what you're getting yourself into.
Exactly, because like the dating stage is the process where you get to know someone and find out more about who they are. It doesn't mean that just because by going out we're initially gonna date. I mean, that's why people have botched dates.
Yeah.
Where like they go out and never meet again.
You know, imagine you meet me on the date. It's like 90 days to wed. And then I'm like, hey, actually, I'm married. I just had an argument with my husband and I decided when you had become serious with this thing. So, you know, things like that shouldn't happen. So don't try to abuse someone on a date just because they came looking good or not. But I think the big question is, why does date rape happen and where does it happen? How do you get raped by a person you just met and where do they do it?
Okay, can I go for this? Okay, so most people, they find comfort. Like you said, we met over the phone. You know, these days there's dating sites and everything. We meet over the phone, we talk, and you know, I feel like I know you enough to trust you. You get that?
Yeah.
And then you invite me over to hang out, Netflix. You know what?
Netflix and
and
chill,
right?
exactly.
Yeah. And then I come over to your place, and for me, I just came with the intention, okay, I'm just going to see that person. We're just going to have fun, watch a movie, eat popcorn. And then for someone, the other gender, most of the time, they think that that's an allowance for you to like have, do whatever it is that you want to do with me.
Okay.
So-
So shouldn't we do away with this environment? So where did this happen? Was it at his house? Was it in a hotel? Where was it?
It could be at a house.
Okay.
It could be at a hotel. I mean, if after he's got you thinking that you owe him, that he could take you anyway. He might be in a public space, but he's still going to take you behind closed doors. So,
I have another question.
sure.
So when you went to the hotel or to this guy's house, what were you thinking would happen? What was at the back of your mind? What were you thinking? Didn't you have expectations or probabilities that in case this happens, I'm gonna go like this?
Okay, the basic point is these people are victims. They don't know, like, exactly. We might put it like their minds are not thinking straight because they're basically being manipulated into thinking that they owe that person that favor. Because, yeah. We're basically saying that this date doesn't equal to sex. That's what we're saying.
All right.
All
So,
right.
Patience, do you think that women put themselves in positions where they become victims of date rape?
No, I can, cause when we talk of date rape and we will say women they put themselves on getting raped or whatever the case might be, we now putting in the thing called rape culture, cause we now blaming the victim instead of protecting the girl child, instead of saying we shouldn't be having questions why were you going there, like she was saying maybe. But I believe maybe on a first date you guys you can go to a hotel. Is that possible? On a first date, getting to
think
know
you know
each other,
this
you don't know
person,
this person,
You
and
thought
you agree
we've
to
been
go.
on the phone together. There's that trust that I've been talking to this person. I opened up about my life. He opened up about his life, and then
But-
we met.
Okay.
So that's where we get it wrong, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah.
we
We have
trust
to
too
let.
much.
We
We
have to
just end
unlearn.
up-
That's true. So what I think is all dates should be public. First date should be public. Don't go to a place where you're gonna regret you ever went there. Don't even go to hillside dams. There's mountains there. There's things there. You can get raped. So all first dates should be public, or the first 10 dates, or however how many, until you get to know this person and understand the type of person they are.
Okay.
But I think that there's a misconception because irregardless of how many dates we go on, we have to agree that things can escalate to a whole new level, like emotions be high and flying around. One still has the right to say no, even after that. Like, it's still my right to say no, I'm not ready, or no, I don't want to, regardless of emotions. I know that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
thi-
because like people are taking it the wrong way just because they think we're talking and vibing like that, and then suddenly I'm into sex or something. No, you can still say no.
Yeah, and they have to respect that. No, they should know that they are not entitled to our bodies. No one has the right to just touch me if I don't want.
Yeah, I think it also goes back to communication.
Exactly.
Bring out expectations and possibilities when you're still talking to this person on the phone. If ever this happens, please understand that from me, it's a no. I'm not saying that we're going to sleep together or you're going to touch me or something. I just want you to know from now that I'm saying no. In case I ever come and I find a bed prepared with some roses, and he says, I was just thinking, if we vibe well, we might end up there. So I was thinking, let's just communicate with this person.
So
Let them know who you are, where you stand. We stick to the hugs,
Limits.
So what you bring?
limits.
We're talking about limits.
Yes.
Yeah, thanks.
Set
Yeah.
out your limits.
Exactly. So basically, you are saying we should set boundaries, and we shouldn't be apologetic to and stick to them. So always we set boundaries, you stick to them. Don't be apologetic about it.
All right, ladies, let's go back a bit. So we were talking about the first date, right?
Yeah.
And all right, let's be honest. All of us have been to dates, right? And who pays for the date?
The man. I've actually I've actually had most men proudly say that they're never gonna spend their money for nothing.
Exactly.
That's true.
How
So
He wants to get his
like
money's
how he's-
worth.
Thank you.
Get,
I
get
mean,
his worth. Okay.
You know?
Okay.
get his money's worth. Like,
So does this
what does
mean
that even mean?
Does this mean that we have to carry our own purses as well when we're going to dates?
Exactly.
You
That's
need a backup.
Yeah.
You need a backup.
So I need to pay for my own bill and him pay for his own bill.
No, you can pay just in case maybe you get intoxicated, you're drunk, or maybe you start doing something that you don't like. You are free to walk away.
All right, so basically, with our first segment right now, we were just bringing out the issue of not falling victim just because we didn't pay for the date and just because we are going out on the first date with someone. Hi, welcome to the second segment of the topic date rape. So, ladies, just as we were talking on the first segment, we were talking about date rape on the first date. But then, actually, it is actually the perpetrator who can prevent this from happening. Real men don't rape women. But then, what can we as women do to prevent that, to prevent being taken advantage of?
I think don't be desperate. There's a million men out there, and one in those. It doesn't mean this just that because you're dating one, everyone else will not like you. Because I think what leads women to not reporting date rape cases is because they think if I don't date him, who else is going to like me? Or I love him. You're just blinkered onto this guy. So I think that what causes many women in long-term relationships now to not report the case, they just think he cares. It's his way of showing love, or he's mad.
All right.
Yeah,
What do you think?
I also think that women need to be empowered. Like, date rape is like a hidden crime. It's under the shadows. Nobody really, most people don't exactly know it or how it comes by. Because, like, the fact that he's demanding something from you that you're not ready for, that is not okay.
It isn't.
Speak up, report, leave him. Like, it's not really a big deal. But I think that women should be empowered. They should be told about this because they do not know that date rape is there.
Okay.
Okay. Also to add on, I think we should also educate these men that they shouldn't rape us. Because it's all about girls. Girls,
Yeah,
you shouldn't be
sure.
raped. Kids shouldn't be raped. But we also have to teach these guys they shouldn't rape us. It's a crime.
True.
Yeah.
I think the other thing is because we women are the emotion, the emotional part of the relationship. We carry the most of the emotions. And I think we should understand that you can't apologize for the same thing every
Over
day,
and
over
over again.
and over and over again. And then
it's
I
messed
just
up.
believe because he came home with the flowers, he's saying sorry. He's going to do the same thing to me
Again.
over the weekend and then apologize on Monday. So I think if your man is apologizing for sexually harassing you or forcing himself onto you when you don't feel like it, think about it.
Especially if it's constantly. We can't have him doing that all the time
All
and
the time,
apologizing.
yeah.
That's very true.
So
Very
basically, what are we saying? Should we move away from the relationship? Oh,
yeah,
what are we saying?
leave it. He
If
didn't
it's
marry
toxic,
you.
walk away.
That's when
feel
the
free
problem
to
of desperation comes in, guys.
Exactly.
Because
Who
you now
else
start
will marry
thinking,
me? Uh-huh.
we've been dating for 7 years.
Yeah.
And because he abused me today, you want me to leave him now.
No, that's a
Imagine that. We've been dating for 7 years. My family knows him. He's been to every home gathering. I've been to every home gathering by his house. It's like there's no way out of this relationship. I just have to stand strong and understand him. He's got his flows. I've got my flows.
Yeah.
So I think that factor.
Are those relationships really being affected like the 7 years? Like, I think these dates, these newly dates, these people who are into new relationship, those are the people who are being mostly affected because they don't know someone. I mean,
But I do
Dating
think they are
someone for 7
affected.
years.
I
Yeah.
think they're the most.
Look,
Exactly.
when you date someone for 7 years and today you wake up not wanting to give them sex, then who are you giving? You get that?
why?
Why are you not giving me sex today? Why are you denying?
Why?
I've been taking care of you all
gotta
these
be
years.
reasons because you can't just wake up 7 years later and you're not ready for sex.
What if
It
I
can
don't
happen.
want
It can happen.
It can actually
Yeah,
happen.
that's why we say rape is always there.
Exactly.
That's why
It's
you see
happening.
even people are married. A wife can be raped.
Yeah, but that's
Yeah,
true.
you see.
Yeah.
So you can say 7 years, and then you wake up not
7
wanting
years is
to,
nothing.
to indulge with
Yeah,
him.
but actually, you guys are right. 7
Yeah.
years.
But now it takes the confidence. You need
Exactly.
to be confident to go and report this man. Because what many women don't understand is just because he's the breadwinner,
Exactly.
it means he owns everything. You're like his possession.
Okay.
You know. So what women need to learn now is if he's raped you, report him. That way he's going to learn that he's doing wrong.
And at the same time, you'll be protecting the next girl.
Yeah,
Yes.
because many victims are walking free out there. They're definitely walking free. And I also wanted to talk that women need to be independent, like financially independent
That's
and
true.
financially stable. Because there's no way in hell I'm gonna wake up tomorrow and leave the guy who's paying for my rent.
True.
But then he's gonna come back. He's gonna wanna assault you. He's gonna demand things you don't want. And then what? Where are you gonna take it from there?
You have that dependency
Exactly.
feeling
You
that
feel like you
he's
owe him
doing
something.
everything. I feel like I owe him. I also want to make him happy. So I think the biggest counter policy that we can put on this issue of men trying to get their worth is you as a girl. You can pay for the date. You can
Stability.
take this guy out. You can pay for the bill. That way, this relationship has a balance. So that in any case, if you're ever to exit the relationship, no one feels like they were wronged, or no one feels like now I'm going to force myself onto you.
All right.
So
I'm going to
guys-
force myself onto you just because I've been smothering you with the roses, with the chocolates, with the everything. I went all out on you, but this is how you repay me. So let's keep that balance, that I can pay for the date, you pay for the date also.
So basically, we're saying date rape ranges from anywhere, like a first date encounter or a long blossom relationship,
Yes,
right?
Yeah.
you just have to
Yeah, it
point
does.
it out and pick it out.
And
Because,
report it.
you know, when you report the guy, you are also trying to help him. You're also trying to help him realize his mistake. Maybe he grew up in a family where, as a child, whenever he cried for something, he got it.
Yeah.
Now he doesn't understand that the next person, when the next person says no, they really mean
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
Maybe you have to help him point it out to say, listen, love, if I don't like this, don't do it. This is my body. We're in a relationship. We're not married. I'm not
Even if
entitled
you're
to
married, even
giving
if
you
you're married,
anything.
it doesn't
Even
give
if
you
you're
the
married,
right, yeah.
if I don't feel like it,
Don't
respect
want
that.
it.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they should take no as an answer. And taking from what Natasha has said, that you'll be teaching that person to be a man.
Yes.
Because real men don't harm their girlfriends.
True.
Thank you.
They
Thank
don't
you.
do
Like
that.
most people actually don't understand that. Like, I love her, so I'm beating her up. I mean, what is
Does
that?
love has to be someone?
And
Do you have to be someone to know
goes
that
back
you
to
love
how we grew up, even as ladies. I mean, we are taught. Have you been to kitchen parties or had anything that is taught in kitchen parties? You are supposed to satisfy the man
Yeah,
all
what
the
kind of-
time. It's always the woman who has to do everything.
What kind of
So-
underage for kitchen parties? So enlighten me.
all right. I haven't been to one, but I've heard some conversations.
Okay.
So it's basically about you being taught how to satisfy a man and everything. So I feel like most ladies, they stay in those toxic relationships simply because they have been taught to stay. You know,
Okay.
You
if
know.
your man wants
That's
sex,
true.
give him
That's
sex,
true.
no matter what.
So it's
Say,
more like a
"That's true."
sense of grooming.
Yeah.
being
You're
nurtured
taught
into it.
you're taught
Exactly.
to stay, to satisfy this person.
Okay.
So basically, these
And
kind
you-
of things, this kind of conversation, these things that you're being taught.
They all need to be corrected.
Exactly. We need to unlearn all that.
That's
Exactly.
true.
And you also need to have people to tell, like, let's give it a first date scenario. Keep your friends updated, like, let them know where you at, who you with, what you're doing, like, at all costs, because these things are now extremely dangerous.
You know,
Exactly.
and this goes to every guy who's listening. You don't even know what I'm hiding. You don't
Yeah.
know my HIV status. You don't know if I've got an STI or not. And then you just decide to rape me on our first date. Or I haven't even opened up about my status in our 1 year relationship.
And you're
already
wanting sex.
trying to take advantage of me.
Yeah.
This is why couples go for family planning when they decide we're going to engage sexually. They go for family planning, they get tested because you want to protect the next person. So you could actually harm yourself trying to harm me.
Yeah,
you know.
exactly. That's very true. So, guys, what do we say about those people who be sedated and under the influence? Like, what happens there?
Don't drink alcohol on your first date.
Yeah.
Never do
Yeah,
that.
I think
No drugs, no alcohol. Keep it
Just
public.
be
Or at
sober.
least just maintain a certain amount.
You know.
That is, if you're gonna drink, at least have a certain amount you're gonna inquire. Or
Meaning
take
you
it.
have to know your
Okay.
level.
All right. Thank you, ladies. Thank you so much. We've had an insightful discussion. And to everybody who's watching, I hope you understand and you have learned a lot from this, because we've been talking about how women need to stand up and own their bodies. They need to own who they are, and they need to say no when they have to. So that's it from today. We are the Girls with Voices. Catch us again on the next episode, and do follow us on all our media platforms.
Thank you.
Thank you.